Have you downloaded Waves plugins and can't figure out how to get them inside Cakewalk Sonar? Well, don't worry. I'll walk you through it step by step so you can start mixing with Waves today. So first of all, you want to go to waves.com. Now, you can choose whatever option you want to do. Me personally, I use the actual bundle or the subscription. But if you want to just come in here and purchase plugins independently, you can do that. Looks like they have a discount going on right now. If I wanted to go in here and buy this Curves Equator, I would click that, add it to my cart. Now, where everything downloads at is what's called the Waves Central. So this is basically the installer that manages all of the Waves plugins. So you do have to create an account for it. I'm already signed in. Let me see where I can find it exactly. And you can also do a search for it if you're not quite sure. Here it is, downloads. So go to downloads and then Waves Central. You can click on that and then you'll see download for Mac or download for Windows. Okay. Let me pull it up down here. Here is the Waves Central app. I'm gonna click on it and you can kind of get an idea of what I have in here. Okay. The new Central version is available. So that means I'm probably gonna have to update that. And while that's doing what it's doing, it'll restart in a few moments. This is just a norm. Hope you all are feeling well wherever you are in the world. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you're notified every time I post new content. This is all about Waves. So let's see what pops up and then I can take you from there. I'm going to try my best to move slow, but also keep a speedy video. So please let me know in the comments if the pace was good enough for you to understand and you don't have any issues. And so right now it's telling me to close the following application, Sonar and OBS Studio. I'm going to say cancel. Please restart the Waves Central if this issue presents contact support. Okay, and it might be because I'm using those plugins within these right now. But once you get this, you can see I have the Waves Essential. You want to make sure you install it. Now, you don't have to install every single plugin that comes within the Waves Essential. You can install just a few plugins, but if you want to install them all, that's great. Just make sure you have the space that you need. I don't think it's so much the fact of installing it. And if you have an issue with installing, please let me know. What's important to remember is that you need to make sure that you download or install the VST3 versions. I would say install all of them, but VST3 are the versions that work best with Sonar. And so by default, that's going to be under C, Program Files, Common Files, VST. If you're not quite sure what I mean, I'm going to go to, actually, that's not what I meant. I meant to go here, File Explorer. So I click on that. Let's bring this over so you can see File Explorer. And then I'm going to go to, got so many drives now. I'm going to go to my C drive and I'm going to click on Program Files, which is right here. And I'm going to go down to Common Files, which is right here. And then you'll notice that I have VST2 and VST3. And so VST3 is here. And then in here, you'll see, a bunch of different plugins that I have. And then you'll see Wave Shell, Wave Shell, Wave Shell. So everything is being installed here. And then out of there comes all the different plugins, depending on how you install it. And then sometimes if you have an issue with trying to find a particular plugin, you got to find out exactly where it's hidden. And sometimes if you don't install it to the same folder, you'll be in a world of trouble. You have to do a search on your computer to figure that out. So in Sonar, we want to go up to Edit, and then we want to go to Preferences, or you can press P on the keyboard. And then you can go down to where it says File, VST Settings. Okay. Under VST Settings, you want to click Add. And then you want to make sure you select the VST folder. So I'm going to do this PC, capital C, or C drive rather. Remember we said it was Program Files. And then I go down to, I passed it up, Common Files. And then I would go down to VST3. And then I would add that. And it's probably there already. Then I'm going to press Apply. And I'm going to press Close. Okay. Now, if for some reason you still don't see any of these things pop up, you can also go to Utilities at the top, Cakewalk Plugin Manager. All right, and we're looking for VST3 plugins. And so you can see these are all the ones that I have, and you can see all the Waves plugins added in there too, as well as any other plugin that I have. Now, some of these plugins that are actually on here may not be plugins that I have active. So you can go through and exclude plugins, or you can disable plugins. It kind of shows you where they are. And if it's something that you changed here, like for instance, you didn't see a particular plugin, you can click on Show Excluded. And I can see in each category, like I can see VST audio effects, that the PX64, these are not enabled. So I need to enable those plugins. Not quite sure why they weren't enabled. Boost 11, I'll enable that too as well. Drum replacer may not work. I tried it once before, but I might enable it another time. And let's see, it looks like everything else is enabled, but that's one thing, especially in Cakewalk by Bandlab. It had an issue, not an issue, but just sometimes you couldn't find some plugins. So you have to go in here, check, see if they're excluded, see if they're disabled, whichever, etc. And then you can go from there. I know all of the plugins are in here. So let me show you how to go about setting up a track. I hope you're still with me, and I hope you like the video so far. I'm taking this very slow. So if you feel like you need to speed up, I swear you can just bump it up to 1.5. That's okay with me. All right, so let's create an audio track. And let's see, we're going to press Control-T, and that's going to create an audio track. Now, to add effects on here, there's a few different ways you can do it. One, you can click the FX bin right here. It says a plus sign. It says Show Rack Menu. Click on it. You can insert audio effects. And what I love to do is organize these by category, or if I really want to go specifically just focusing on waves, I would go to sort by manufacturer. And now when I click, I can go insert audio effects, and then I can go straight down to waves. And you can see these are all the waves plugins. So let's say I want to use some type of compression. Let's say the CLA76 model. And hopefully I do have this one within the essentials, because there's two different subscriptions and I have the cheaper one. So not really worried about the settings on here. I'm just putting it on there, and maybe I want to add another effect. Let's go back to waves again, and let's add clarity, because I've got noise in the background, and that's definitely going to help me. So I'm going to use clarity VX mono. Okay, and I'll probably put that above the CLA. I know I want some type of effects like reverb or something like that. Also, to the right, you can type in what you're looking for. So I'm looking for a reverb, and I can see the clarity. I can see the mani reverb. It looks like that's the only reverbs that I have. Of course, I have the reverb. I can use that. I can just drag it over and add it. Okay, it looks like this one works too as well. That's good. Okay, and let's put the mani reverb at the bottom. Let's put the RVox at the bottom. Okay, but first I got to set things up. Let's set this to, I'm in input 1, so I can record, and I can put on this. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, let's try. Yeah. Whoa. I can actually start recording something. Now, I don't have to have the effects on, but if you want to hear your effects, you might want to put the input echo on. But I can just start recording. And let's do it. I'm not going to put a metronome on. Let's just go with it. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. All right. Voice is tired. Just been teaching all day. But let's listen to it. Oh. Whoa. Okay, cool. So it's just a way to test it and see what it sounds like. The clarity definitely helps because this particular plugin, I use it like on everything. And the reason why is because it's kind of like a gate. It just really gets rid of all the background noise. And I'm recording just like I'm recording right now. I'm singing. You know, TV is on. My daughter was playing drums in the other room on the electronic drum set. So I'm like, I'm in an apartment, so I'm constantly hearing noise everywhere. And I could say for you all, like, oh, just don't worry about recording videos until you get it absolutely quiet. If I did that, I would never be able to record any videos. So I have to find other ways to do it. So clarity works really well with being able to just get rid of that background noise. As soon as you move the knob, you'll see the big difference. And okay, of course, we got the CLA 76, you know, traditional, old school, like still present today compressor, and the Manny Reverb and the RVox, which is another compressor too as well. Yeah, so I can actually convert this to a chain. I can press right click and go convert FX rack to FX chain. And now it's going to be a chain, and I can actually name this chain. Let's see. Can we name it? Where do we name it at? Right there. Okay, cool. And I can say, just the norm Fox. Okay. And then after I do that, I can actually right click on it again, and I can save it as an FX rack. And so once I save it, I can save it right here and go save. And so now I can delete it. And if I ever want to access it again, I can go to insert FX chain preset, and then I'll see just a norm Vox right there. And then I can click on it. Now, if you're having an issue where your plugins are not showing up, you still, like I said, they're not showing up at all, you can go back to the Cakewalk plugin manager, and you can actually click on what's called Scan VST plugins. And it'll go through and scan everything again. This may take a little while depending on how many drives or how many folders you have imported on here. And you might even get messages, like I get some messages from some old plugins that don't really work, and I just haven't gotten around to taking them off, but that's okay. So I would scan it. I'm going to cancel this right now though, but you get the idea. So once you come on, let's cancel. You're not going to cancel. You're just going to keep going. Okay. Maybe it'll cancel. I'm not sure. But it takes a little while for the process, but it shouldn't take no longer than about 5 minutes, something like that. And once you have everything scanned, then you can also, once you have everything scanned, you can do that search on the side that I mentioned and see if you can type in the specific plugin that you're looking for. So I'm not going to let you wait on this. I'm not going to make you wait on this scanning process. I believe that's all I have to cover in this. If you have any questions about what you saw, let me know in the comments. I need ideas from you all. I know I've received comments, a ton of comments, but I need questions. I need ideas for specific videos to do. So I received this comment about the Waves plugin, so I hope that helped